Hello, Dave.
Hello, Matt. You've got picking up kids singular. Weren't you picking up two kids?
No, the other kid she's on the school's dance team, and they have to dance at the basketball games, and she's got a game she has to dance at today. And then she's going out with her friend for her friend's birthday.
Okay. So it was just singular kid.
Yep.
All right. Okay, well, it's the first Thursday of November, and time to get our hold on. It's your turn to remember Jeff Seiler, and it is indeed my turn to remember Jeff Seiler. This one just came into my head when I was thinking about something else, and I went, wait a minute, that was Jeff Seiler. That's a Jeff Seiler story. And it's a nice, quick little Jeff Seiler story. Jeff Seiler was on the bus going somewhere. I think in Minneapolis. He might have been referring to one of the earlier places that he lived. I'm pretty sure it was in Minneapolis. And he was on the bus, and he was sitting in one of the two-seaters directly behind the driver, looking forward. The first two-seater, and of course, then there's the two bench seaters facing each other, just between Jeff and the bus driver, just to get everybody's road map in order here. And there was a guy who was maybe about Jeff's age, maybe a little younger, sitting directly ahead of Jeff, between Jeff and the driver on the left-hand bench. And on the right-hand bench was an attractive woman. And the guy sitting directly ahead of Jeff started hitting on her, not capital H hitting on her, but making conversation and trying to be witty and, as we used to say, suave and debonair. And Jeff is sitting there and listening to this, and of course the woman is, trying not to be rude, but trying not to be polite, and definitely not trying to sound remotely interested in this guy. And Jeff said he's sitting there, and he didn't say it, but he was thinking in his head, dude, you're on the bus.
But come on, that could have been that story could have ended with, and that's how I met your grandma, kid.
Now, see, well, no, I don't think so. I think that was really Jeff's point. It's like if a woman, particularly an attractive woman, is on the bus, it's because that's all she can afford, and she's only getting on the bus so that she can get from where she is to where she's got to go. She's not thinking, someday my prince will come and maybe it'll be on this bus. If she's, I don't think this is particularly sexist. I thought that Jeff pretty much nailed it, and there was nothing that he could do. I mean, you could. The inclination is to do something like say to the woman, I apologize on behalf of my entire gender for what this guy is doing. But you can't really do that, because then it'll be, okay, now I've got two guys hitting on me. One's trying to strike up a conversation and trying to be Sir Galahad and save me from this guy. And she's just going to be sitting there going, can you both just leave me alone? I'm just on the bus. I'm just going to work or whatever it is. I don't even want to tell you where I'm going. Just leave me alone.
And that, folks, is how lesbians are made.
No. See, you're missing the point again.
No. I get the point. I'm just being funny. I had one of them. I had one of them days at work where everybody was going. Well, it started with today. They had the high school kids come through on a tour to see all the machines and the robots, and we had to clean because visitors and
right.
A couple guys I work with they're running the machines with the robots, so they have to talk to the kids, and they've been asked to talk to the kids. And first thing I said to them is, so they give you the list of what you're allowed to say and not allowed to say, and they both went, no. And I'm like, oh, so you're going to say study real hard or you'll end up here? Which is what they did. They laughed. And then...
Did they? Good.
And then my boss caught me talking to somebody. And it was one of these, I was in between doing something and something else, and I was walking from point A to point B and returning to where I needed to be. And my boss caught me, and he's like, well, since you're standing around doing nothing, I'm like, well, no. And I explained what happened. And I told him what I told them, and he laughed and went, and that's why they're not talking to you. I'm like, oh, I know I'm not allowed to talk to the kids because I'll tell them the truth.
See, this is completely offside with the Ron Essler from last time, where you said just memorize all the stuff that they've got on the sign of do's and don'ts, and just feed it back to them, and they'll be happy as clams.
It's one of those. I mean, it was one of them days where, like, invariably I had to walk past the group of kids because I was I had to take a load of parts, and I'm pushing them, with the handcart, and they're in the way, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to talk to them, but I have to say, excuse me, and they're like, oh, could you get out of Matt's way? And I'm like, I'm fine with them in my way. It just means I can't do anything for a few minutes.
Right.
But it was, and they got out of the way, and then, and it wasn't even that it was the kids coming through, it was that there were like 6 groups of them, and they were, there's three guys giving tours to 3 different groups, but then they had to do a second set of groups. And I'm like, at one point I said to somebody, I'm like, so does the supervisor get paid to babysit?
How large were the groups?
About a dozen kids in one, I think half a dozen in another. But the first group was a bunch of guys who very much were kind of interested in what was going on. And then the next group, they all had earbuds in and weren't listening. And I'm going, and when my buddy told me this, I'm like, and this is why I'm not allowed to be on the tour, because it doesn't help that my hair is getting longer. I need to shave, and I got a nice growth of beard, and I kind of have that wild man of Borneo look on me. Right.
Yeah, that's one of those interesting things too, where it's they got like a daycare center just down the street, and all the kids were outside because it was a beautiful day. But they're also putting in a sidewalk, so there's like an excavator there, and you got that same sense of all the boys are just absolutely hypnotized by it. And it's like, no, you don't want to end up there. It definitely looks cool, but Mom and Dad have much higher hopes for you. Are we even allowed to say that these days? It's a good point that you're making. Almost anything, we're up to our eyeballs in this. Okay, what am I allowed to say? I'm obviously not allowed to say the truth, because can't tell the truth about anything anymore.
Well, and that's my big problem, when whenever stuff like this happens, it's very much like the HR guy will come to me like, well, I kind of feel like you're the voice of the company, and I'm like, if I'm the voice of the company, we are in big trouble. like I've ripped off Dave Sim numerous times where I tell him, I am not on the planning committee. I'm on the everybody get out and push committee.
Steering committee.
Steering committee. And I mean, I've at one point I wrote a letter to the board of directors of the company with an idea for an improvement, and I titled it Interim Report from the Everybody Get Out and Push Committee. and it kind of was
now look what I'm responsible for.
Well, and that's, I mean, it was one of those, I've been saying it for years, and they keep going. Nobody really listens to me when I say it. They're like, yeah, or whatever. I'm like, I'm just a little cog in a big machine. I have no direction when it comes to this place.
But you're also like the truthful soul of the company. If you want to know what's actually going on, ask Dow.
Sorta.
Anyway, okay.
We're off on a tangent to a tangent.
A tangent to a tangent. Hey, I like your don't blame me, I voted for Lord Julius's goat design. You did that just when you got back from voting, did you?
Oh, when I was voting, I was standing in line because I picked Natasha up from school. Janice had her dance team, so I didn't have to get her. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go vote. You can come with me and, be part of the democratic process by standing quietly and not being an obnoxious little twerp kid. Or you can wait in the car. And she's like, I'll wait in the car. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be a little bit. And she's got her phone. She's fine. And I got, because the way City Hall is you got to go up the stairs into the building, and then to vote, I have to get on the elevator, go downstairs because there's not a direct stairwell, which I do not understand.
Right.
And so I get on the elevator with 4 other people, including another little kid that's with his parents, and we get down, and the line to vote is out of the room down the hallway, and I immediately text her, this is going to be a little bit, are you sure you're going to be okay? She's like, I'll be fine. I'm like, all right. And then she's like, well, how long is it going to be? And I'm like, there's 13 people in front of me. And the line isn't moving. So, and there's 13 people I can see. The line, there might be people in front of them that I can't. And she's like, okay, I'll be all right. And the line isn't moving, and the line isn't moving. And then they come in, they're checking everybody's registration, to make, are you sure you need to vote here? Because I live on the edge of one ward and the beginning of another, and Ward 4 votes at City Hall, Ward 3 votes at the police station, which is a block away. And I'm looking at the map going, that is just weird. But okay, it's a new city. This is how they want me to do it. And so I send her a couple texts of just, hey, this is what's going on. And she's like, well, how long is it going to be? And I'm like, I have no idea. I literally can't tell you, kid. And it ended up being like 20, 25 minutes. But when I got out to the car, she was like, I really have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, well, you could have come in. They have a bathroom in City Hall.
Oh, you couldn't make that up.
But while I'm in line, I'm like, I'm going to make a shirt that says, don't blame me, I voted for Weisstop, and put the image of Weisstop sitting in the chair holding the glass of whiskey. And then I'm going, that's pretty good. Yeah, that'll work. And then I'm going, wait a minute, no, don't blame me, I voted for the goat. And the image popped in my head of, oh wait, there is that silhouetted image. This will be perfect. And then I was going to do don't blame me, I voted for Cerebus. And I'm like, I honestly think of the 3, the goat's going to be the one that sells.
Probably. Anyway, good call. Also available in white printing, it says here.
Yeah, I made the first one. It's just black, and when I put it up, it's what color shirts do you want? And I want only the light colored shirts because the dark colored shirts won't show up. And then I'm like, I should do another one where it's all the dark colored shirts for the guys that only wear black T-shirts.
Right.
So I just reverse the colors. Now it's white, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, you don't have to wash them as often when they're white. That's a guy thing.